if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Is it visible now?
Yes.
Okay. So, hello. Yeah.
Yes.
So, we are, into the process of analyzing underperforming products. Ours is Group 2, and our team members are Sovanik, Sayantan, Laboni, Sai, and myself. And I'll just give a quick recap about what has panned out so far in the previous weeks. So, talking about the business case, we want to see if there are any low performing products which we can potentially analyze and take corrective measures to increase revenue. And we want to have our target industry as retail in this case because it was most suited to the data set that we had in hand. And using that as a basis, we can see if there is any way to maybe adjust the pricing or adjust the marketing strategies later on. So that will be the business context of this presentation. Uh, Looking at the approach, so this is this is a four-step approach that we are using. We'll be importing data from the data files that we had. We'll prepare the data which we did in the previous weeks. We cleaned the data, like we took care of the missing values, and we standardized the rows and columns so that everything becomes like a coherent data, and we can use it for modeling. And the visualization, we will have different types of visualization as the weeks progress. But for now, we have used multiple in our presentation, just to make it more appropriate to understand. And the project scope, is like we want to have, so we have a time frame from 2014 to 2017. We have try to analyze the data in such a way that it does not become too clumsy. There might be a few, just a heads up, there might be a few graphs which seem clumsy because we have tried to analyze it on, a daily basis for a particular year just to see if there was any seasonality. But other than that, we have tried to, keep it simple. And it was mostly about exploring multiple approaches. Like it was mostly about exploring the data. So we'll come to that part later. uh, these are the expected outcomes that we want to maximize the profitability. We want to ultimately increase the revenue for the company. And the KPIs which can help in achieving this objective can be increased sales or increased profit margin or inventory turnover. So I'll brush upon what we did in the previous weeks. So this is the data cleaning aspect that I was talking about. We kind of standardized the category key. So if you see, just to give a glimpse of how we did the data cleaning, if you see, we had a column which is known as category key ID-1, and we separated it so that we have a uniform category key. Similarly, we removed duplicate values from the product ID table because we wanted to have full and final and clean data when we are trying to visualize it. So this was about data cleaning. I will proceed to the next slide, which was this, which is kind of important, which is we wanted to merge the geography ID, with this with the sales table. So we didn't have a geo ID, present, but we kind of used merged queries in Power BI, which is a powerful tool to have, data from another table based on a common column, or rather, I would say based on a key. And it connects the data in such a way that you have data from the geography table merged in the sales table. So we kind of used merge tables concept here. This is just to show that we kind of also had additional columns like profit to see how different products perform with different profit as a basis. And this is where our team had few questions which it'll be really helpful if we can clarify it later on, but that will be for the later part of the presentation. And yeah, this is the DAX formula that we used for our calendar table. We had different tables, but we thought that having a calendar table would really help us to kind of slice and dice the data based on multiple, I would say, time frames, and also based on a seasonality. So if you see here, we have divided it into multiple seasons, which is the winter, spring, summer, and autumn. Which is obviously dependent on what are the seasons in Europe, because we have European countries. And we have also kind of narrowed down few important holidays which are celebrated in these countries, so that we can see if there is a spike in sales during certain holidays. So this was just a glimpse of the DAX formula that we used. Uh, Moving on to the next slide. This is an important feedback that we received from Arca last week, that use a star schema because it helps to reduce the processing time, and it also reduces the number of joins. We kind of wanted to have a star schema. We combined the subcategory and category table with the product table using merge queries concept. And eventually we just have a star schema which is very similar to what our previous team presented. So I will just touch upon the number of units sold by country. So as I mentioned earlier, we wanted to analyze in bits and pieces. We don't have a dashboard yet, but we just wanted to see if there are any clear trends which can give us an insight. So this showcases the number of units sold by country. It's on a common y-axis level, so that you can clearly see that Germany performs very well from 2014 to 17. And similarly, Denmark and Czech Republic are lagging, when it comes to the sales. So this is just, a recommendation that we can probably have the product more localized, which is, let's say, the packaging can be more well adapted in their local language, or anything which can kind of bring that local flavor. Promotional offers, as in we can kind of have it we can have promotional offers during Christmas, for example, or we can have promotions during different seasons. So that is one of the ways we can increase the sales. And also, we can do like marketing campaigns, which can be more targeted towards, certain sections that resonate more with the product. So this was more to see how it performs on a country level. And okay, so coming back to the objective, which was to see low performing products. It was a little difficult with the data, considering that every unit was selling, like every product was selling the same number of units from 2014 to 2017. So while we had a discussion within the team, like how can we achieve the ultimate objective, which is to increase the profitability. So we thought, rather than being fixated on which product is selling less, why not see those points where the product, or points as in countries, or let's say points as in the categories which are not selling well, and why not use that as a basis to improve the revenue. So I'm not saying we had a scope creep, or we are changing the scope, but we are just trying to figure out ways to increase the revenue. And as I mentioned earlier, the number of sales for all the units was very similar for all the units. It was just the profit which was different. So which kind of increased the revenue for the product IDs from 5 to 7, which was called Magnum, I believe. Uh, and I think Sovanik will explain this slide, which is how revenue discounts have been given across the country. So Sovanik, if you would like to share your thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Karan. So as you can see that this slide is explaining that which country is providing the most revenue discount. And we have found this insight from this chart that Germany is tending to offer the highest revenue discount, which might, explain the high sales volume for the country. So this country is performing well in this aspect to provide the most revenue discount.
Mm-hmm.
Can
Thanks.
you go to the next
Yeah.
slide?
So
Yeah.
this is, yeah, go ahead. So this is the number of units sold by town. we wanted to deep dive into which towns in particular are selling more units. So, Sayantan, if you would like to share your thoughts around how this helped us analyze the products in these particular towns. Yeah.
Thank you, Karan.
Mhm.
I found that by this slide we see that Frankfurt and Berlin have highest in in unit sales, but in summer and winter season Denmark's market is peak. Uh, I used for that graph town and sum of unit it in with the help of with the help of seasonal selling. Okay.
Right. So as Santan mentioned that we wanted to also say, like slice the data based on the seasons, and we could clearly see that summer and winter are performing really well. Like the sales trend shows an increase in these particular seasons. And moving on to the next slide, which was the number of units sold by sales rep. Now, if we see this, this was a very interesting insight that we got that sales rep with IDs 5 and 7, they were performing very well from 2014 to 2014 to 2016. And suddenly we saw a dip in their performance in 2017. Uh, Other sales rep kind of enhanced their performance, but for 5 and 7, it was a decrease. We wanted to highlight this point and we wanted to take corrective measures like are they not motivated enough? We don't have the data, but we are just trying to figure out scenarios. Are they not motivated enough, or is there yeah, it can also be a reason that the market conditions are not very good, but we just wanted to highlight the fact that we can do something which can kind of bring them to their original game of exceeding their performance. So moving on to the next slide, which was to which is the revenue discount offered by the sales rep. So yeah, Sovanik is going to explain this slide.
Yeah, so as you can see from this chart, we derived several key insights. We observed that some sales representatives consistently achieve high sales volumes without relying heavily on discounts, indicating effective selling strategies and customer relationships. And conversely, a few representatives offer significant discounts, which is quite boosting is boosting sales volume, and that is negatively impacting the overall revenue. So these findings suggest that we need to refine our discount policies and provide targeted training to representatives to optimize their sales techniques. And as you saw in the previous slide, what Karan just showed you, that that provided how discount strategies impact overall revenue. By comparing the revenue generated with discounts provided, we can assess whether certain representatives are offering excessive discounts that may impact the profit margins. So this analysis is crucial for balancing competitive pricing with profitability. And based on
Sorry.
this analysis, we recommend implementing a more structured discount policy to ensure profitability while remaining competitive. So additionally, I would say that targeted training programs for sales representatives can help improve their selling techniques and reduce the reliance on discounts. In conclusion, I would like to add for the sales representative part that our detailed analysis on the sales representative performance has provided valuable insights into their sales techniques and the impact of discounts on revenue. So by leveraging these insights, we can take targeted actions to optimize sales performance and improve profitability. Please go ahead with the next slides.
So this was the pie chart that we used for seeing if there is any, noticeable difference between the subcategories. And we were just discussing whether to have this slide or not because extra can mean, the other options. And that is why, which explains, having a major chunk of the pie. But just for the sake of understanding, we thought to keep it as is, thinking that let's say it's in another dimension in itself, and we thought to have it here. Probably not the right approach, but had it been on another dimension, it would have like explained that it kind of dominates the sales when it comes to the subcategories. But I'm not going to spend time on this slide. I'll move
So
on to the
Karan,
next.
Karan, I
Mhm.
have a question. Can you go 2
Mhm.
slides back?
Yep.
One more.
This one.
One more,
Okay.
please.
Okay.
One more. Let's go by country. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Fast forward. No,
Okay.
go ahead. Ahead. Yeah. Okay. Not back. Forward.
Okay. Okay.
Come to the screen. Okay. Okay, I got it. So have you guys considered intrinsic and extrinsic factors? Whenever sales, there are like incentive. Okay, suddenly a change in internal incentive plans. New head of sales comes and they would suddenly say, okay, all incentives, you guys are becoming very lazy. I'll stop all incentives from next month. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the team takes time to absorb, gear up, and there is a factor. So intrinsic are more internal driven factors, and extrinsic are, it's a no-brainer, right? Seasonal,
Mm-hmm.
certain calamity, issues like COVID, blah, blah, whatever, right? So I would say take into consideration, if it is possible, the intrinsic and the
Mm-hmm.
extrinsic factors when you
Sure.
determine the sales drop.
Mm-hmm.
That's very,
Sure.
very important, actually. You need to do
Sure.
that.
Thanks. Thanks for the feedback, Anirban.
Yeah, I do.
We'll
Thanks.
definitely incorporate that. We'll club this into different categories, intrinsic and extrinsic, and see how it can eventually help with our analysis. So thanks for the feedback. And
Sure.
moving on to the next slide, which was number of units sold by month. I think so. Yeah, Sai is going to take over, and Sai can explain this slide. Yeah.
So this graph, the number of units sold by month for year 2025, it's just an example for the future uh, uh, visualization and projection. It just shows us which month has the highest number of sales for each product and which month has the lowest number of sales of each product. We can see in this graph, July month, which is almost in between the summer and fall, has the highest number of sales, and November, April, March, which comes in the winter for Europe, has the lowest number of sales. This was an obvious and repeated trend we observed in our sales, number of sales for the products. And this visualization also helps us understand which product has the lowest number of sales in each month and the highest. And according to the monthly approach, we can categorize or strategize our marketing approach to promote the product which has low number of sales, as the highest sales product can, without any promotion, have a high volume of revenue generated for the company for whatever the product is. Can you go to the next slide?
Yeah.
And this pie chart just shows us the difference between the product uh, from the start of the month of a year and for a particular year and the end of the month of a particular. For example, this is same year 2015, and the first pie chart shows us the distribution of product number of units sold in January, and the next pie chart shows us the distribution of number of units sold in December. We can see that the purple product ID 9 has a 107 maximum number of units sold in January, and when by coming it to December, it only has sold 94 products. And we are thinking, why has this number of units sold decreased over time rather than maintaining a steady state or increased the number of sales? So we are uh, thinking how to promote this product so that it can maintain average high level number of sales rather than decrease in number of sales. And this is the trend we saw, that the summer winter seasons are the in all the years have the highest number of sales, and we can see spring and autumn has the lowest. All the countries, all the towns, all the years, all the months as well. This is the obvious trend we observed, and we plan to strategize and promote in these spring and autumn seasons as well, so that the products won't have a drastical decrease in sales and cost us very high profit. Next,
So,
yeah,
Yeah, I
that's it
have
from
one
my part.
feedback
Thank
for
you.
the previous slide.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah. See again, this visualization is not good. Okay.
okay,
I would request, don't use visualization that has too much of information for somebody who is seeing. Because
okay,
if you look at just the summers or winters, like I really don't able to understand what are these different color lines mean, or what are the differences, because it's so clumsy.
got
Okay,
it.
so uh, try to create your visuals in such a way that each and every point of information is visible, very you know like it's represented very like I'm not able to
Compact, yeah,
understand it basically.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, it's
Yes.
you like you need to expand it maybe, or do proper filterization, clear it out, or do something, but it's very clumsy. You see, maybe there are hundreds of lines out there, right?
yeah,
How can somebody who is looking at it will be able to differentiate between, let's say, summer in 2017 versus autumn in 2016?
got it.
Yeah, so
Right.
just another feedback. I think similar feedback to the group one. This is, you can also change this.
Yeah, uh, that's one of the thing we wanted to focus and say in this presentation. This is our analysis on data itself, not the final dashboard data we want to represent in our dashboard. So this is just our analysis, our analysis showing you guys what we found out, and we will take into consideration all the feedback you have given us. Thank you.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Moving on to Lena, do we have like a couple of minutes more so that we can wind up?
Yes. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
Five more
Yeah.
minutes maybe, then we can take up questions from Arnav if he has anything.
Sure. Sure. So this is the impact of seasonality. This is a little, we just wanted to see if there are any visible peaks during certain times of the year. This is for the year 2014 and for a particular product ID. Uh, for Christmas, the rightmost line, you see that there is a clear spike before the Christmas Eve. And I have also taken one Labor Day just for context to see if any there is any change in sales volume before Labor Day. And similarly for multiple products, we had kind of different trends showing up with respect to the holidays. For one of them being that Christmas generally shows an uptick in the number of sales for most of the products. Similarly, we can also see if there are any other holidays which can kind of impact the sales volume. So that is one of the things that we wanted to highlight. And finally, these are the next steps. And before I move on to the next steps, I would also like to highlight that Laboni had created a very good visualization for profit and revenue analysis. Just due to some last minute glitch, we were not able to save. It's our fault. We kind of, but we will keep that in mind and also have that measure to be showcased in next week's dashboard. So I just wanted to quickly highlight that fact about revenue and profit analysis. And moving on to the final slide, which is the next steps. We will continue to explore the data. I think data exploration part has been done largely. We also start developing recommendations and try to make it a coherent dashboard. We want to bring everything together and have relevant things put in a dashboard which can make business sense for a leader who is looking at the dashboard and can give clear insights on how to make any changes. And in the meantime, we are also trying to improve our skills in Power BI. We are playing around with multiple functionalities, and we are kind of learning every day with faculty's help and with each other's help. And we are on track to getting a PL 300 certification, which is kind of one of the objectives and a very important objective, so that we can be certified and eventually take on more challenging projects. So on that note, I'll just like to take up any questions that might have with the faculties. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, Arnav and Artha, if you have any more questions for team Karan's team, please go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks, Karan. It was mostly it was very nice. Uh, One suggestion I would give you, that if you go to the previous slide where you were showing the seasonality, yeah. So here, along with this chart, if you present something that what is the difference between the regular days versus the seasonal days, if
Okay.
you put, let's say, some average or some, like if you can present some difference, that
Okay.
what happens on a regular day versus the seasonal day, then it
Mm-hmm.
would be more fruitful when somebody is seeing it. They can understand, what are the impact of the seasonal days, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can put along with this, you can put another chart into this slide so that it is understandable for somebody who is seeing it and
Mm-hmm.
gets the idea that what is the impact of seasonality.
Okay. No, that's a very good point, and I think that is what Lena also had highlighted, and we kind of forgot to put it in the. But now, this is something which is very important. That we want to incorporate in the next presentation. I think I remember asking Lena that how should we differentiate between the days when the products are selling more, let's say for example Christmas, and how do we compare it with the previous month, or do we compare it with the same time period? So I think Lena kind of had similar feedback as you, so we'll definitely keep it in mind for the next presentation. So yeah, thanks.
So do you have your dashboard ready, or because
Uh,
I think you haven't showcased
So,
that to us so far?
so
yes.
actually, I also wanted to add here, I think, to the faculty. So right now they're only working on the desktop, Power BI desktop. They're still creating individual reports and pages, and they haven't completed. They're going to be publishing their dashboards next week. They're working on the dashboards. We're going to be setting RLS and dashboards next week. So this is all of their business scenarios. They're going to put them in the report. And right now, it's this week we're only concentrating on that. So dashboards is going to come up next week. Arka.
Yeah, great. So far it's good. Thanks, Karan.
So Arka, right now we are having like multiple pages in a Power BI desktop file. We are having like 7, 8 tabs like we have in Excel. Just we have just kind of collated everything in this presentation. So, but we'll collate everything next week and have this as one thing, like as a dashboard for the next week.
Sure.
Yeah.
So one